What separates the greatest minds in history from everyone else? It isn't talent. It isn't luck. It isn't even hard work. Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos. Men who reshaped entire industries all shared one thing: the way they thought about themselves. Napoleon Hill spent a lifetime studying success and concluded that your thoughts literally construct your reality. So why are millions of people still stuck, still struggling, still waiting for their lives to change? The answer lives inside a story, and by the end of it, you'll never see yourself the same way again. At a crowded railway station, there was a man everyone ignored, a beggar. Day after day, he sat in the same corner, hands stretched out, surviving on whatever strangers dropped into his palm. He had accepted this as his life. This was simply who he was. One afternoon, a businessman walked onto the platform, sharp suit, straight posture, the kind of presence that made people move out of the way. The beggar's eyes lit up. A man like that, he thought, will surely be generous. He approached him confidently and extended his hand, but the businessman didn't reach for his wallet. Instead, he looked the beggar directly in the eyes and asked, "Have you ever given anything to anyone?" The beggar blinked. No one had ever asked him that. "Sir, I'm a beggar. I have nothing to give." The businessman's response was calm, but cutting. "Then you have no right to ask. I'm a businessman. Everything I do is in exchange. If you bring me nothing, I can offer you nothing." And with that, he stepped onto his train and was gone. The beggar stood frozen on that platform long after the train disappeared. Something about those words refused to leave him. No right to ask. In exchange. Give first, then receive. That night, he couldn't sleep. 2 days went by. He didn't beg once. He just thought. On the third day, sitting quietly near the tracks, he noticed something. A patch of wildflowers growing along the edge of the platform, bright and untouched. And something clicked. What if I stop just taking and start giving something back? He picked a small bundle of flowers, returned to his spot, and made himself a quiet promise. Every coin someone gave him would be met with a flower in return. The reaction surprised him. People smiled. Some thanked him. A few even came back the next day. And he began to notice a pattern. When he had flowers, people gave freely. When he ran out, the generosity dried up almost immediately. So it really is true, he thought. People respond to value. Weeks passed. Then one afternoon, the businessman appeared again on the same platform. The beggar didn't hesitate. He walked straight up to him. "Sir, I remember you. Today I have something to offer. Give me what you can, and I'll give you these flowers in return." The businessman reached into his pocket, handed him some money, and accepted the flowers with a smile. "You've understood it," he said quietly. "Today, you are no longer a beggar. You are a businessman." The train pulled in. The businessman boarded. And as the beggar watched it leave, something shifted permanently inside him. Businessman. He turned the word over in his mind. Then it hit him. It had always been true. People weren't giving him coins out of pity anymore. They were paying for something he offered. That was commerce. That was business. That was him. He walked out of that station and never came back as a beggar. 6 months later, 2 well-dressed men crossed paths on a train platform. They shook hands. One studied the other's face, searching his memory. "Do I know you?" The second man smiled. "We've met here twice before." A long pause. Then recognition flooded the first man's face. The one I refused to give money to, and then later bought flowers from." The flower seller laughed. "That's right. But I haven't begged a single day since you left. I run a flower business now, growing it every day." The businessman shook his head slowly, genuinely amazed. "What changed?" "You made me see something I'd been blind to my whole life. I was never really a beggar. I just believed I was one. The moment I changed that belief, everything else followed." The 2 men shook hands again, this time as equals. Here's what that story is really saying. Your identity is not determined by your circumstances. It's determined by how you choose to see yourself. The beggar didn't get a loan. He didn't get a mentor. Didn't get lucky. Got a single honest question, and he had the courage to sit with it until it changed him. You're not your current situation. You are not your past. You're not the label the world has placed on you. The only question that matters is, how do you see yourself? Because the moment that changes, everything changes.